Hello everybody, Memi here, and thank you so much for checking out this new challenge video. This is gonna be my first time playing this game called Shin Megami Tensei for PlayStation 1. This is literally gonna be a blind challenge. I know very little about this game, but we're gonna attempt to play through this game with humans only. That means no demons, which makes this game really interesting. But anyways, let's get into it. First rule, obviously, no demons. Second rule, anything goes. It's just no demons. Yay! Huzzah! That's the only rule. Anyways, we're gonna be playing through this game on expert. Expert difficulty is actually the normal difficulty, while normal is actually an easy difficulty. Let's go. Waking up in this weird dream sequence, this face pretty much stops us and asks us what our name is. Obviously our name is Memi, and he tells us to distribute our stat points. The main character in the early Shin Megami Tensei games cannot use magic, so literally just pump everything into your power and vitality, maybe some speed, I guess. But since we don't need the recruiting thing, I don't really need to worry about luck or wisdom, because I believe wisdom affects your recruiting skills for demons. But yeah, just mainly just focusing on attack and vitality. A little ways down the hallway of this dream sequence, we come across this flying cross, and somebody's saying that this is the servant of God. This is a law hero, our second, is going to be one of our party members later on. I decided to call this person Subscribe, and they're going to be mainly a magic build. Later on down the hallway, we encounter another person. This is our chaos hero. His name is going to be Comment, like commenting on the video, like how you said subscribe to the channel. Yay. Anyways, he's going to be the all-around character. His stats are going to be distributed a little bit here, a little bit there. He's not going to be too crazy. It makes sense for his lore, because I'm not going to spoil much about it, but he wants power. Ooh, naked lady taking a bath. Turns out her name is Yuriko, and she's supposed to be our internal partner. Then we wake up because Mom's like, time to wake up. Mom gives us our allowance of 10,000 buckaroos and orders us to go get her coffee. There's no encounters at the start of the game, so we just make our way on over to the mall. Also, don't forget the Pascal. Alright, well, nothing too crazy happens at the mall. We find a guy in an alleyway in the mall, and he pretty much gets murdered by a demon. The demon bites us and runs away, and we pick up a knife off the floor. Yay, cool. We make our way to the cafe to get our mom's coffee. Turns out he's just going to send it straight to her place. Cool, delivery. Around the corner, we run into Yuriko again. She's like, oh, it's like the dream came true. Anyways, that's enough for the mall. Time to get out of here. All I just know is that getting my mom her coffee and watching a guy get murdered pretty much takes the wind out of us. So we head to bed, but after that, before that though, our mom tells us that a girl was butchered in the park, like literally like ripped apart. And she tells us to make sure we walk Pascal. Anyways, time to get some sleep. Well, we ended up falling asleep and waking up inside that weird dream again. We get both subscribe, and Comment to join our party. We run into Yuriko again saying, hey Memi, I'm going to be by your side forever. Totally not creepy. Further on inside the dream, we come to a weird ceremony where these people are getting ready to sacrifice this girl. This is our heroine avatar. We're provided with two options, a yes or no, to help push us towards a LOL aligned or a chaos aligned. Doesn't really matter, they're both the same outcome. I'm going to be trying to go for a neutral for this playthrough, so I got to do kind of a mixture of both, but never leaning too heavy to one side. Anyways, we name her like you should like this video. Funny. Anyways, she's just going to be a mage character because we're going to be needing lots of magic, so more mage characters the better. Anyways, after that trippy dream, our mom wakes us up saying that we were saying this girl's name constantly in our sleep. Also, this weird guy named Steven keeps messaging us and telling us to download this demon programming app. But I'm like, I don't believe in demons. We don't need no damn demons. But anyways, we go talk with our mom. And she's like, hey, that girl's name you kept saying in your dream, like, well, she lives next door. Why don't you go say hi? It turns out, though, her name is Like, but she's not the same girl we saw in our dreams. She didn't have no crazy dreams last night compared to Yuriko. And plus, subscribe and comment seem to recognize us whenever we're in the dream world, too. Weird. Well, now that we're in the overworld again, we go back to the mall. And now things are different. As you can see, our encounter meter went from blue to yellow, meaning now we can encounter demons. So let's grind for a little bit and get a couple of levels to power ourselves up. Also, I love the battle theme in this game, especially this anticipation music when you're getting ready to select a command. Alright, after a nice little grind section, we head south. We meet an old man who then sends us into a trippy dream saying that we should have the power to defeat the big bad man here. We ran into our party members, one by one. The law hero and the evil hero. The chaos hero, sorry. And, we soon get our ass kicked by the boss in this place. Turns out we weren't strong enough after all. Trying to return home, we get stopped by the police saying that we're wanted for murder. And it turns out taking the knife from a murder scene is a kind of a bad idea. And even worse when you sell it for profit. Oh boy, off to jail we go. Inside of the jail cell, we come across a boy, and this boy turns out to be the law hero. Subscribe. Totally didn't have to redo the voice line because I said the wrong name. Anyways, with his help, we break out of the jail cell, and we're going to gain a couple levels for him to allow him to catch up with us. He kind of wants to find his girlfriend, so we're going to help him out, and he's going to help us get out of here too. We run into a man in a wheelchair. Turns out this is Steven, the guy who's been sending us those demon summoning programs, which we totally didn't use because we don't have no need for no demons. When we got brawn and swords and guns. Yeah. Anyways, he's going to help us get out of here as long as we help him get out of here. Making our way to the top of the dungeon, we come across our first boss. I honestly think this isn't really a boss fight because it seems like he's just a tough enemy. Anyways, he goes down relatively quickly. Pretty easy, honestly. Making our way to the mall, once we get outside, we can come across this room with these gangsters beating up a guy. This person here that they're beating up is our chaos hero, and we're going to get him to be our friend and join our party. Also, I love his sprite. It literally looks like he's just wearing a bathrobe. Upon returning home, things don't seem right. The music's different, and our mom just doesn't seem like her. Oh shit, turns out she's a monster. Yeah, our mom got devoured. Time to defeat this demon. Having 3 party members makes this fight pretty easy. It can use Maku Jam, which blocks magic. But other than that, not too hard. Goes down relatively fast, especially when everybody was leveled up. I like this little interaction between the law hero and the chaos hero. The law hero is pretty much, hey, you gotta stay strong, man. And then the chaos hero is like, yo, back off. His mom just got killed. Leave him alone. Anyways, that demon dropped an ID card, allowing us to get to the next area where the big boss man demon of this area belongs. Or, I'm sorry, resides. Let's go. Also, I want to take Pascal with us. Pascal's technically considered a demon for story reasons. So, sorry, Pascal. Alright, first note is the dungeon music here. This dungeon's music is rocking, and I love it. 2, the enemies here drop decent money, decent experience. And there's these enemies called, here they are, goblins. Goblin the Fairy. They can drop tonfas, which are worth about 4,000 a piece, I want to say. They can get you some good money, so I recommend grinding here if you need some money. Because if they drop those tonfas, you can obviously go sell them for a ton of money. And also, I forgot to point it out, but inside of the mall, there's this place called the Antique Shop. Inside of the Antique Shop, you can buy guns. I really recommend picking up a gun for the hero character so everybody has at least 2 forms of damage. Because some enemies and bosses can be immune to like weapon damage, but are vulnerable to gun damage, so yeah. I like this dungeon because it's simple, it's straightforward, it's only 5 floors, but this entire dungeon's optional for going through the floors, I mean. Because there's an elevator you can take all the way to the top, but I wouldn't recommend it because there's some nice little items you can get called incense, which raise your stats by 1. They're literally just free level ups, don't miss them. At the top floor, we run into a suspicious man performing a ceremony. He pretty much doesn't like us being here, he kicks us out. And then he's like, I'm gonna murder you. Alright, let's go. Doman the Superhuman. He only has 400 HP, but man, he hits like a freaking truck. It doesn't take long before he overwhelms my team with damage, and he has a stupid spell called Shiba-Boo, which pretty much binds a party member, and it's literally just GG from there. He kills Subscribe, my only healer, binds my main magic attacker, and then, well, rip party. Round 2 doesn't fare much better. Shiba-Boo's Memi and Subscribe murder Subscribe. Shiba-Boo comments, and it's just you can't do anything. You can't fucking do anything. Round 3 coming up. Doman round 3. This time I actually got some pretty good luck. Subscribe has Zanma. It's the best attack to use against him. It does about 84 points of damage. And it doesn't take long. We finally get him down. We got some good RNG this time. No Shiba-Boo. Going back inside the ritual room, our dog Pascal touches the machine by attacking it and gets teleported. This terminal allows us to save and warp between different zones that we find. So let's head to the next area. Upon entering this new area, we quickly find a zombie who's like, oh, I used to be human too, but they turned us into demons. And then we run into a demon who thinks we are demons in disguise, but turns out we're not. And he's like, oh my god! Oh my god, you guys are actually humans and not demons. Prepare to die! He dies pretty fast. Make sure we're still exploring the dungeon because we can get some pretty useful items, some incense and stuffs. Here we can run into Steve again. Oh, sorry, we don't know his name is Steven yet. But a man in the wheelchair. He asks us if the demon summoning program is useful. We lie to his face and say yes, even though we're not really using it. And he expands our inventory space for demons that we're never going to use. Yay. Upon going outside, if you go to one of the barriers, we can learn that the Japanese army have instructed martial law in the area. Huh. Things are going a little crazy now. Upon interacting with this building, we get a nice little cutscene of the general of the Japanese army, Goto. He does a long-winded speak about why martial law has been established and how we need to fight back against the power. And civilization's festering and it needs to be rebuilt in the land of Gaia. Also, he makes a funny face. Upon entering this building, we discover it's another mall area for us to explore. This place is gigantic. There's a lot of useless rooms. Some of the enemies here actually can drop some really rare items, in my opinion. I found a really cool sword from one of them and a weapon for the heroine, who we don't have yet. There's several different bars that you can go to, one for the American Army and one for... Oh yeah, I forgot to say that the American Army has invaded Japan for reasons. We'll get into that here in a moment. But there's a Japanese bar for the Japanese army, and then the bar with the American soldiers in it. And it's pretty cool to talk with them, get their points of views and everything. I like the funny text that the American soldiers have because they're speaking broken Japanese. Also, we learned that the American ambassador, his name is Thorman. Thor, man. Anyways, let's not worry about that. Moving on, we asked this weird bartender guy a couple of questions, and he gives us a matchbook. Crazy. We also run into Yukiko again. Kind of weird how we're meeting her in every place we go to. Suspicious. Heading down to the basement of the mall, we run into a guy who asks for the stuff. And yeah, we have the real stuff, aka the matchbook, to show him. That allows us to meet the resistance leader. Her name is Like, and she asks for us to join her. And right before she explains to us the master plan, she gets kidnapped by Yuriko, who followed us down here. And she's like, you know what, we're gonna publicly execute this lady for all the stuff she's done. So now we gotta go save her. In order to figure out where the public execution is being held, we need to go back to where we met Yuriko originally. And one of the resistance members will tell us she's being gonna be executed in public at the Tokyo Government Plaza. Ugh, words are hard. Upon entering the building and honing down the hallway, we come across a scene of them getting ready to publicly execute Like, but Yuriko sees us in the crowd and calls us out. Time for a boss fight. Now, I wouldn't really say this is a boss fight, but anyways, subscribe and comment can easily dominate the first two waves of this. The first wave is nothing but zombie policemen, use Mazenma or Moragidine to just hit the entire group. It should one-shot all of them practically. Second one's a little bit tougher, just rinse and repeat, use your heavy-hitting spells. Third wave is where it gets a little bit more difficult, because you have two different groups, easy peasy. Have both the casters focus on one group, and then once one group is down, just double team the second group. Alrighty, Yuriko understands she lost, so she just leaves and let us save Like. Awesome, so we saved Like, the leader of the resistance. She asks for us to meet her back out at the new hideaway. Let's head on over. For being the leader of the resistance, she sure chose a weird place to hide. Anyways, back at the spot where we once met Yuriko, then met the man from the resistance, we meet Like, the leader again. She asks for us to join her in her mission. We do, but at the same time, she also tells us that the leader of the armies, aka Goto, General Goto, and Ambassador Thorman are making their moves. We lose Subscribe because he wants to go save his girlfriend, and we lose Comment because he's like, you know what, I need to go get my revenge anyways. But Like decides to join us, so at least we're not alone. She also gives us an ID card that allows us to get into the locations where the leaders of the warring parties are at. She wants us to go talk with them. Maybe we can sort this out diplomatically and peacefully. Let's go talk to Goto first. Entering inside General Goto's domain, I guess, is... Oh, okay. The military base, sorry. The dungeon here is pretty simple, straightforward. Going down to the basement is completely optional. You can get some subcontext of what Goto's really doing. He's kidnapping girls named Like, so this is where all the kidnapped girls are going. The enemies here hurt pretty hard, and they can paralyze you. There's a couple of enemies in here that are actually pretty funny looking, like the Kamikaze soldiers or Kamikaze fighters. They're pretty cool. I like their design. They can drop a weapon called the Unsigned Blade. It could be pretty good, but I found a better item drop already, so I have no reason to use it. Entering the last room of the dungeon, we encounter Goto. He wishes to talk to us, so we hear him out. He's sad that what happened to Like was not part of his original plan. He just wanted to get rid of her but not kill her. So Yuriko's acting out on her own. He explains that the thousand year kingdom is something that the Americans are trying to initiate and not just protect Tokyo from the demons. They will be striking Tokyo with missiles, which Goto does not want, and he needs our help. But we look undecided. So he's going to give us time to ponder over his plan. Let's go talk to Thorman. Upon getting inside of the American embassy, the enemies here are a bit tougher than over in the military base, but it shouldn't be nothing too much. Anyways, making our way to the final chamber, we encounter the ambassador. Ambassador Thorman explains that he's happy to see us, and he's heard things about us, and he wants to offer us his aid, but we need to eliminate Goto. Because Goto is trying to resummon the Dark Lord Lucifer, the tyrant of the underworld. The American army stands no chance against the enemy's the demons, so he needs our help to remove Goto. Honestly, he's not explaining anything about any missile strikes that Goto told us about, so we decline his offer, and he also asks us if letting Goto run amok is a good idea. So we still say no. We're going to ponder on our decision. Let's head back to Goto and explain to him something. Upon getting back to Goto, we tell him that we made up our mind and we will not lend him strength. Yeah, he says that, well, our journey needs to come to an end and our lives need to stop. Starting the battle, he sends out a couple of minions. First wave is pretty easy. Have like just cast Mazio on the new and just have the main character focus on one enemy. Honestly, they should have just been focusing together, but it's fine. First wave goes down. Second wave's a little bit harder. And then finally, Goto himself. Alright, I'm not going to sugarcoat this boss fight. Honestly, Goto hurts hard, and this fight came down to luck, honestly. He likes to spam Shibaboo. Shibaboo, 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 Shibaboo. It's always fucking Shibaboo. He starts off by binding both of us. Luckily, it wears off. He kills Like, and I just have no choice but to pummel away at him with my rinky-dinky sword that's doing only about like 30 points of damage. This was a very annoying fucking fight, and it got close. Like, very, very close. But luckily, I get him on my first try. With the death of Goto, we head back to Thorman. And we tell Thorman, no, we're not going to side with him. So Thorman shows his true form, and he fights us. Alright, fighting Thor is a little bit more difficult than Goto because he doesn't have Shibaboo. He does have Zio, which can shock us. But funny enough, Thor's not resistant to Zio, which is lightning element, thunder element, and you know, he can get shocked too. So I take advantage of that. He goes down on the first try. But then the best scene in the entire game happens after Thor falls. Even upon Thor's death, he decides to launch the ICBMs. We have 30 seconds. 30 seconds of where we can't do anything. We can run away, but that's not going to stop it. Within those 30 seconds, if you can make it to the underground tunnels that you got to take to get here, you can come across a really cool scene of American soldiers like, hey guys, what you worried about? Right before the bombs fall. Upon waking up after that weird teleportation scene, we run into an old man in a bathrobe. He says that we need to regain our strength and to find the others. By others, who does he mean? Probably subscribe and comment. Anyways, off to find them. It doesn't take too long to find both of our party members, subscribe and comment. After we find them, we need to head back to the old man. But I'm just going to make a comment right here as I'm currently suffering from a broken leg. So I'm just going to be shotgunning through these next few sections to make up for lost time. After reuniting with our party members, we head back to the old man who immediately takes them away from us to say that they got their own task while we have ours. He tells us that there's 2 anomalies inside the... What is this place called again? The Congo Kai? I don't know. It's a weird word. But he says that we need to go meet them, and if we're law aligned or chaos aligned, we should be able to get items from them. If not, we got forced fights. And I'm going to tell you, this next section was painful. I literally just threw myself at these bosses. They're way over my level. They do so much damage. I just kept going and going until I got the best RNG, and I was able to actually get through these freaking fights. They do drop weapons for LOL aligned and Chaos aligned characters, so I immediately just equip those to my party members once I meet back up with the other two. Old man tells us that we did a good job and we're able to go back to the real world. He says 30 years have passed since the bomb's fallen, and the world's not going to be the same, but we still have one more task before we can leave. But luckily we have our whole party. Before we can leave the Congo Kai, we have one more trial. A boss fight against our heal station and our save station. These guys hurt. I came into this fight not in the best conditions. They can buff, they can heal each other, they can instant kill subscribe. It's so silly. It takes a lot of trial and error, but I get them down. It took a while though. Upon returning back to the overworld, we can see everything's pretty much a disaster. A guy tells us our money's useless and everybody uses Maca now, so all that time grinding, our money is crap. We make our way north, and this is where I make a mistake, I should have head south. But we go north, we find the old mall that we used to hang out in, and we figure that Ozawa's taken over. We track him down, we get our butts kicked. Chaos Hero says he wants to get stronger by fusing with a demon, so we gotta go capture a demon. Yay. Alright, so I kind of glanced over this section. It's really worth it to grind here and get some money built up. There's an old man who can take your old money and trade it for Maca to help you out a bit. The weapon shop here sells M16s. I highly recommend buying them. They are really good, and they were a lifesaver while I was grinding. But anyways, after getting our demon and heading back to the Heretic, or Cathedral Shadows if you want to call it, the Chaos Hero fuses with his demon. And I don't know who made the design for this character, but by golly, it's just so funny looking. He's like a discount freaking Shredder or a discount Ninja. It's just so silly. Anyways, time to go kick a boss's ass. Round 2 against Ozawa. The boss, he can hurt, but with our Chaos Hero being fused with the demon, he's literally 10 levels higher than all of us. And this boss goes down with no trouble. He can have some pretty devastating attacks, but honestly, Subscribe's the only one who does get killed in this fight. Other than that, he goes down relatively quickly, and he gives you a pretty good, decent blade. So, that's cool. I got a new weapon upgrade. Ozawa here begs for mercy, and it doesn't matter if you give it to him or if not. The Chaos Hero is going to kill him no matter what. Bleh, goodbye, old man. Heading down into the basement, we find this guy who's locked up. He's called a soul diver or a psycho diver, whatever they call him in this translation. He wants to be freed, so we free him, and he offers to help us out with somebody else who I should have went south when I got into the overworld to do first, but now we got to go track through a really annoying dungeon. Alright, so heading south to Shibuya, sorry. We find a really annoying dungeon. Messiahs talk to us constantly about how God's grace will preserve us and stuff, but we're here to find the heroine. She's trapped in this building. The encounter rates here is extremely high, and it gets very freaking annoying with only 2 party members. Also, this was also streamed, so my VTuber's on screen. Every now and then I'll just let my live commentary take over. Because this is maybe a day or 2 after I got home from my accident after getting my surgery and stuff. So I'm going to let the live commentary take over for the most part of this next section. Gun. Guns. Missed. Oh no.
After about a good 30 minutes of crawling my way through the dungeon, I finally find the heroine.
The girl has
she's
been
chained up,
A girl's voice.
and she's talking to me softly. She wants to be saved. Since we know her location, now we gotta go get the soul diver, or whatever his name is, and bring him here. Alright, after some backtracking, we get the soul diver here, and he's gonna send us into the mind of the heroine, like she is currently being plagued by a demon that's trying to take her over, and we have one choice. One of the most annoying dungeons I have encountered so far. The encounter rate here is so high, the enemies hurt so much, and there's no loot in this dungeon at all. Makes sense because you're inside someone's mind, but still though, I want loot when I'm in a dungeon. Anyways, we get to the boss after like 2.5 hours.
Ah! Who's there? Who dared intrude on my moment of pleasure? A human? I am the only moments away from making this girl mine, and I'm not about to let you interfere. Ooh, here we go.
Alright, this boss was a little bit of a pain, but overall not too difficult with all the crap we had to deal with getting here. It goes down in a few turns. It does hurt us somewhat. I believe subscribe went down once, but I managed to revive him. After that, we save the heroine, and she rejoins our party.
I didn't forget.
Alright, now off to Roppongi.
A building.
Roppongi is a little bit of an interesting dungeon. It introduces trap tiles on the floor, and they poison you. I hate it so much. And the place seems oddly empty. We find a little disco room that has a bunch of people saying how this is such a wonderful place to live. After chatting with some of the people here, we leave, and I decide to go down into the basement. We find an item called the glancing pot. Kind of weird, don't know what this is for. And let's head to the top floor. Upon getting to the top floor, we encounter Alice and a servant. Alice is begging the servant to let us in, and they need to get permission from Count Red. Count Red seems like a chill guy. He's just trying to make Alice happy. Alice wishes for us to die for her, and we say no, and she starts crying. And then Count Red decides to challenge us to a fight. And we win, because apparently the glancing pot is what we needed. Yuriko shows up and asks for the glancing pot, so I give it to her. Upon leaving, Count Black uses his grabby hands and takes away subscribe from us. Let's go get him back. Down in the basement, we encounter Count Black, who tells us that subscribe is dead. He's dead, he's gone, he's never coming back. Now we gotta fight his true form, Neurobos. I think I'm saying that right, Neurobos. All I'm gonna say is that this is my most hated fight in the entire game so far. He has Mudo, which has a 75% chance of instant killing you or one other person, so 2 people. This is just a slugfest. My best strategy here is to shock him with Zeo from Like and pray that I hit 2 to 3 times on my main attacks for 75 damage. If not, if I die, it's a reset. If Like dies, I keep going until I can try. It takes about 6 or 7 tries, but I manage to do it after an hour and a half of trying. Yeah, so we have some parting words with subscribe. He says that we did good and he's going to be in a happier place. And then another ghost says that subscribe's going to go meet God. At least he got a happy ending. Time to move on. We're done here at Roppongi. Upon leaving Roppongi, we head a little bit north to find this underground passage. This is just a giant connection area. We run into Subscribe's ghost form, who says he misses us, but he also asks us for a request. We run into Steve, who asks us if the demon summoning program's good, and we tell him no. And then we run into the Chaos Hero, who wishes to duel us, but I say no. But he tells us not to go past him for safety. He still cares about us, at least. After a couple of hours exploring this dungeon and all of the fucking encounters, we come across a mad scientist. He throws us into a fight with a couple of squads of robots, and then we fight a giant television who's apparently immune to gun. But it hurts hard. It hurts, yes. But it's also really vulnerable to shock. So use Ziongo onto it, and after a while it will fall, and we get a couple of levels out of it. Also, this was a complete optional boss fight.
Didn't really have to do it, but I wanted it for the experience. Next, we head through the passageway that the Chaos Hero told us not to do, and let's start exploring this region. Alright, take it back. Actually, I go over to Shinagawa, and I find the Messiah's headquarters. This is where the Law faction resides. We're here for two things, a special key item and a sword. The sword is found inside a teleporter maze. It will come in handy very soon. And the second is this demon summoner up here who we need to beat the crap out of. I was streaming this in my Discord server, and I was doing a funny voice to him, and it was cracking a lot of people up. He's not too challenging. He drops this gem that we will need for later on, and let's get back over to the area where the Chaos Hero doesn't want us to be. Upon reaching this zone, we get accosted by the Chaos Hero who decides that, hey, you're going on trial for summoning demons. I'm like, but I don't summon demons. He's like, too bad, bruh. You're under arrest. We go against freaking Lord Yama, and he says we're being on trial for a death sentence, but he makes us a deal. We refuse his deal because we ain't helping nobody. We're trying to stay on the neutral path, so we gotta break out of prison. I quite enjoy this dungeon. It's really straightforward. There's nothing too scary in here. Some of the enemies can hit pretty hard, but try to conserve your MP, and then about on the third floor, we are encountering our first boss fight. This guy is tough because he can boost his defenses, and since we don't have no way to negate those buffs or counter them, it will become a very long and enduring fight. I think the lowest amount of damage I was actually hitting was like 9. It took forever, but he did go down. He wasn't too scary. Upon his defeat, he drops us a shit ton of XP, 3 levels each. Power myself up a little bit more with vitality speed for both my characters, and moving on to Lord Yama. Lord Yama's a little bit more challenging, but with a bunch of new equipment I managed to buy, we were actually hitting him for some decent amounts. He's immune to most magical attacks, so don't even bother. Just keep whacking him. Have the heroine focus mainly on healing and keeping the main character alive as long as possible. He can cast Mudo, but during my entire try right here, he never did. Got pretty lucky about that. After a little bit of a beating, Yama does go down. It wasn't that bad of a fight, but I quite enjoyed it. We run into the Chaos Hero comment, and he pretty much says, wow, you guys are pretty strong. I guess Yama wasn't a threat. Anyways, he leaves us alone. Here in Ueno, we need a couple of things. We need to gather a couple of items to make a sword. If you ever played this game, there's a weapon that you make through sword fusion. It's the strongest weapon in the game, and I'm going to take the time to make it because my damage is starting to really fall off, and having only 2 party members is really rough, so I'm going to take the time to make it. See you guys in a few once it's fused. Getting the materials I needed to make this weapon took ages. But anyways, you take the Kagasuchi, I don't know how to say if I'm right, fuse it with a Sylph. That makes a sword. Take that sword, fuse it with an Undine, and then once you get that sword, fuse it with a Salamence, and then you get the Hino Kagasuchi, which is the strongest weapon in the game. Hot dog. Continuing on the main path, we run into a guy named Louis Cypher, who's friendly to demons. What a great name you have there, Louis Cypher. Anyways, we run into Yuriko, who's apparently a friend of his, and turns out she's Lilith, and she tries to kill us, but she can't, so she leaves like a little butthole. Traveling deeper into the dungeon, we finally find our target, who's guarding the golden apples, and he doesn't last long. Just saying. With the golden apple on hand, we make our way south through a mansion to a new area called Tokyo Destinyland. Yay! Woo! It's guarded by Cerberus, who takes the apple and joins us. We're not going to use him, so don't worry about it. And into the fun dungeon, where this is the head honcho base of the Chaos faction. We run into the Chaos Hero, who's found his girl, so that's cool. I'm glad he found love.
Anyways, this dungeon is, it's okay. It tests your luck. As long as your luck is high enough, you should be okay to get through areas. There's a mini game you can do here to manipulate your alignment, but I don't really do it. Besides, we're gonna be killing some LOL faction members here shortly anyway, so who really cares? But it's just a maze to get through. It takes some time. After a few more bits of hoops and hollerings of getting through this teleporter maze, we finally meet a chaos faction leader named Echidna. She explains that she gave birth to a bunch of monsters and how God overthrown everything how God took over the throne by dethroning everybody and throwing them down to hell, pretty much, or the underworld. She wants us to go eliminate a LOL faction person, and I'm like, okay, sure, because we already eliminated 2. Might as well eliminate 1 on the LOL side and kind of even ourselves out. Back in Shinagawa, we run into Charlie. He begs for us to join him, but the moment we say yes or no, it doesn't really matter. Haniel descends from the heavens and challenges us to a fight. And, he doesn't last long. Here's the whole fight. Yeah, having the Hinokagaguchi... God, I can't say the name. Sorry. It's going to make the rest of this playthrough probably a lot easier. Anyways, subscribe is like, oh no, you killed Haniel. Teleport. Alright, back to Echidna. Back at Tokyo Destiny Land, we go and confront Echidna. She offers us a deal to join her, but I'm like, nah, screw that. So we kill her. This is laughable. She goes down so much faster than Heinal. Anyways, that's another leader down. But what do we do now? So if we explore some more in Ginzo, down in the basements, we can find the old man who opens up the way to where we need to go to get to the Great Cathedral. We're now in the endgame. Let's do this. Inside the Great Cathedral, we can find both of our old companions arguing and yelling at each other. One side wants us to kill a couple of people. Another side wants us to save a couple of people. Well, never turned down experience, so I guess we're going to kill them. So locating all of the manors is simple. It's north, east, south, west. They're little tiny buildings. Each one of them has one of these guardians inside of them. They're nothing. They're so simple to defeat. They don't even last more than a couple of turns. And here's just a montage of just all of them dying. Anyways, done with this. Time to head back to the Great Cathedral. Amongst the bickering between subscribe and comment, there's a giant earthquake. Turns out God has flooded Tokyo. Once we get outside, we call upon an octopus that we saved. I forgot to mention that. In the Great Cathedral, you can save an octopus, which you need to do in order to get access to some areas, if you're on the neutral path or something. But anyways, we use the octopus for a second just to check it out. We then go back and talk with the Law Hero and the Chaos Hero. They beg our help to help their leaders in this never-ending struggle. We're not. We're going to kill them both. Alright, after a long struggle of getting through the Tokyo government building, we finally encounter the LOL side's leader. Well, not leader. I guess general or whatever. Vishnu. He talks big, but he goes down like a chump. Now we gotta go take care of Ravana. Ravana, on the other hand, puts up a little bit more of a fight than Vishnu, but he still goes down pretty fast. And then his son steps in, and we just put the smackdown on his son. There we go. Now, we are finally at the end game. Back at the Great Cathedral, the Law Hero and the Chaos Hero yell at us and say that now we are now enemies. We're going to take out the Chaos side first, and then the Law side.
Oh, hi. Hi there.
Humans, failed puppets created by God. All of you are fated to die in the end. Allow me to perform your last rites here.
Oh, right. Cert, the Dark Tyrant. And he's done. That was easy. Alright. Oh, boy. If only I had a stoma, I know. Okay, he has Raku Kaja. Okay, that's good to know. And done. Wow, easy peasy.
I was so close to returning to the Ishtar again. And I only have my regrets.
Oh my god! Jesus Christ!
You clever one. Although you are not but a human, you will feel my major fangs.
What the fuck? Alright, sword? Has no effect. Okay. He's weak. Okay, I can hit him with gun at least. Oh, okay, never mind, I can't hit him with a gun. Alright, Like, it's all up to you. Oh, he's dead. Good job, Like, you did it!
My powers surpasses my own fangs. This cannot be.
Look, buddy, I don't care for you and your swords. Leave me alone.
I've been waiting to see you since you had a change of heart, but it seems there'd be no point. Harmony, balance, it only exists one day to fall apart. Let's go, Mimi.
Oh no! Alright, let's do this. 63k experience. Jesus, they're just dropping XP.
My end has come as well, it seems. I can't beat you with all it came down to it. I thought I had power surpassing even the gods. Was it all just a dream, a nightmare? No, it was a good dream.
Oh. You defeated Comment, didn't you? You're only killing your own frenzy. Uh-oh. It's me, Lilith! Oh, God. It's me, Lilith! Fucking hell, auto battle this shit. That was easy. Wow, she went down like a bitch. Hey there, beautiful.
Ho 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 ho. Came at last, have you? A mighty warrior fighting for the glory of God. You even traveled to the corpse of Comment.
Well, I'm not really fighting for God. I'm fighting for humanity. Let's do this. Well, it's the only type of buff I have, sir. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. It's been a journey. It's been a journey of a run. Hi, Rexy. The only thing I regret is not having access to a stoma, because for the love of God, I'm so sick of the encounter, right? Megidolion. Ow, okay. That kind of hurt. Alright, buddy. You need to stop it with the healing. Thankfully, Atlas dropped the level drain pretty early. Yeah, that seems a little scary. I don't think I was ever affected by level drain at all. Ah, there we go! Fuck you, Azure. Azura, sorry.
I was so close, mere breaths away from crashing the 1,000-year kingdom of God. and claim the cathedral too. I must acknowledge the Dark Lord Lucifer's superiority over me.
You've done well. However, the great angel Michael still remains. No, I forgot to read. I forgot to give Uriel a funny voice. Anyways, let's beat this angel. Jesus.
Glory to God and to his 1,000-year kingdom.
That's what I think Uriel sounds like. Alright. Oh. Gabriel.
You've come, have you? I see you're beyond. You're beyond.
Fuck, words are hard. Whatever, let's beat this angel. I tried. He doesn't seem like he's gonna be that scary, so just beat him. Oh, he's immune! He's immune to he's immune to blade. He's immune to blade! And he's done. Wow, what a pathetic boss. 24k XP, I'll take it.
Michael, the great angel, I cast down divine judgment upon you.
GG. What a fucking loser of a boss. Fucking, oh, I'm immune to blade, but God, stun locked me to death. Oh, fuck. Alright, 4th floor.
You fool! Are you saying you wish for the cycle of slaughter to continue even longer than it already has? You are a cursed man, Memmy, stained in blood.
Raphael the Seraphim.
What do you got, buddy? What do you got? 180, 180, 180. Bufala. Oh, Jesus. Alright, auto battle. What is it, little girl? Jesus, that's a lot of fucking bubbles.
My defeat will not change the fact that the 1,000-year kingdom will soon be constructed upon this world.
Fucking dumbasses. I hate everybody. I hate these angels. Oh, here we go. Are you sure you're still not awakened to the fact that you've been led astray by the temptation of those demons? Humans are so weak creatures, we so easily led astray, so easily hurt, so easily killed. You are merely wandering aimlessly, Memmy. By seeking a path of neither law nor chaos, you are essentially chasing an illusion. Will you not open up your heart? Without God by one side, whatever. I don't care. Come on, we're gonna fight. Just fight. Let's fight. Let's do this. Law hero, the superhuman. That's not gonna affect any of us. Zanma, okay. Barely did any damage. Murder, death, destruction.
Is this the will of God? Am I to die once more? Was I not the chosen one by God? An offering, then yes.
Yes, I will go inside. Alright, one more boss fight and then I'm done with this game. Well, not counting the optional boss fight, but I'm not gonna do it because it's not worth it.
You finally came. It seems I must deal with you personally then. You have sold your soul to the devil and rejected the hand of God. Or perhaps you are sitting on the fence waiting to see what might turn the tide.
I don't care. Anyways, time to die, Michael. Let's do this. Oh, he got first turn. Okay, okay. That's a little scary. Alright, sweet. Okay. He does kind of hurt. He does hurt. That a skinny Hellboy? It looks like it. Come on. I want to auto battle, but his damage could probably get a little bit out of control. Compared to Azura, at least he doesn't have any fucking healing spells. Almost there. Done! Oh, fuck! Why? What's the point? Oh, Jesus.
God! I, Michael, was not powerful enough. I could not be here to welcome your arrival. For that I beg your forgiveness!
Okay, I tried reading that, but that was just scrolling too fast. Mammy, I wanted to see you one more time. Oh. Oh, that's it. Done. Woo! God, what a fucking trip. Hey, Mammy, doesn't this statue look like subscribe? Oh, it's just gonna be a slideshow. Okay. Oh, what a journey. That was a fun game. Well, can you beat Shin Megami Tensei 1 without a demon? Yes. Besides for the part where I had to recruit a demon in order to make story progression, but I don't really count that. What a fun game. Will I ever play through this game again? Probably not. I wanted to experience it, and my first playthrough was this. I had fun. That's all that matters. Those encounter rates near the end, though, those were god-awful. I hated them. That was horrible. I hated every moment of it. But I'm happy to say I've completed Shin Megami Tensei 1. I am happy. I am satisfied. And I'm gonna end my stream now, guys. I'll be starting a new challenge run in a few days. I gotta finish getting this one edited and uploaded onto the OobTube, so that way the parts I didn't stream, everybody can watch. I hope you guys all have a good day. I'm gonna go lay down now. Goodbye, everybody. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm not gonna play Undertale. Thank you, though. Alright, bye-bye, everybody.